On this 24th of September, a Wednesday that might to some appear as merely another mark upon the long ribbon of the calendar, we are called to see beyond the flat numbers and the unremarkable name of the day. For this Wednesday will be beautiful not because the weather promises sunshine, or because the events of our schedule are pleasant, but because beauty is not chained to our circumstances. Rather, it is the living secret woven into the fabric of all existence, waiting only for eyes willing to behold it, hearts willing to accept it, and souls willing to be astonished. Too often we imagine that beauty depends upon outward arrangements, upon the agreeable order of things, upon the smoothness of our path, or the comfort of our lot. But such a belief is as fragile as dew upon grass, vanishing at the first touch of hardship. And it is precisely when the world appears grey and unyielding that we must remember that the promise of a day's beauty rests, not in the stage props of circumstance, but in the profound reality that every dawn arrives carrying the secret of grace. A grace that does not wait for our lives to be easy before it speaks, but shines most fiercely when life presses us sorely. Consider the simple fact of the morning light creeping through a window, illuminating dust motes as though they were stars dancing in a private universe, or the sound of a kettle's whistle marking the ordinary ritual of breakfast. And tell me if these are not small heralds of something larger, something vast, something that whispers to us that we are not alone, not abandoned, but held within a design that far surpasses our fleeting cares. This Wednesday, like all days, will unfold with its share of delays, frustrations, or even sorrows, and yet the beauty of it will not be cancelled. For the beauty of a day does not depend on how smoothly it runs, just as the worth of a song is not measured by whether we can sing it without flaw, but by whether it lifts us beyond ourselves. When we look upon the day, as though it is merely a chain in the endless sequence of time, we miss its true face. For each day is a creation, a fresh canvas of opportunity, and within it lies the chance for grace to break in. The beauty of this Wednesday is that it comes undeserved, unearned, freely given. We did not purchase its sunrise, we did not command the air to stir. We did not summon the birds to their morning chorus, and yet they come, testifying that the world is charged with gift. It is a beautiful thing that in spite of our weakness, our failures, our stumbling steps, the day does not hold itself back, but presses forward like a friend eager to meet us. Perhaps the greatest mistake we make is thinking that beauty is rare, hidden in far-off places, to be sought only in moments of extraordinary splendor, when in truth beauty is constantly pressing against the surface of the ordinary, waiting to break through the cracks of our distraction. This Wednesday will be beautiful, because it bears the same signature of creation that every day does, the mark of the one who designed not only the galaxies, but also the veins in a single leaf, the symmetry of a seashell, the rhythm of breath in our lungs, and even the fragile beating of a heart that knows both love and longing. To call such a day ordinary is to mistake familiarity for insignificance, as though the repetition of sunrise made it any less miraculous, as though the cycle of seasons diminished their wonder. Imagine for a moment if we were to awaken as though for the first time, our eyes unaccustomed to light, our ears untrained to sound, our skin unfamiliar with touch, and suddenly this Wednesday arrives the rustle of trees in the early wind, the scent of bread baking, the laughter of children, the comfort of water drawn to quench thirst, and we would be overwhelmed, we would fall silent before such beauty. We would confess that nothing is common, that everything shimmers with significance. It is only our wariness, our inattentiveness, that veils this radiance, and so we must resolve to lift the veil, to look anew, to refuse the lie that the worth of a day is measured by productivity or ease, but to declare that it is measured by presence, by gift, by the quiet glow of grace that threads itself through every hour. This Wednesday will be beautiful because it is an invitation to notice, to pause, to give thanks, to let ourselves be interrupted by wonder. The truth that lies beneath the announcement that this Wednesday will be beautiful is not a shallow optimism that refuses to face reality. not a denial of pain or trouble, but a deeper assurance that reality itself, when traced to its foundation, is good, and though shadows may fall across it, though storms may come, they cannot erase that goodness. Indeed, beauty is most often revealed not in the absence of shadows, but in the contrast against them, as light becomes most dazzling when it pierces darkness. If the sky should be covered in cloud this Wednesday, its beauty will be no less, for clouds themselves hold a grandeur, and the very fact that we can perceive them against the heavens is a gift of vision. If our tasks seem heavy, if disappointments cross our path, the day is not lost, for beauty often surprises us in the midst of labor, the quiet satisfaction of work completed, the relief of a shared burden, the simple fellowship of those who journey with us. This Wednesday will be beautiful because it does not require our perfection to be so, only our willingness to see and to receive. It is a profound thing to know that time itself is not barren, that each day carries the seed of eternity, and that beauty is the fragrance of that eternity breaking into our present. The 24th of September may be forgotten by the world in years to come, its date overlooked in the annals of history, and yet for those who live it with open hearts, it will not be forgotten, because beauty inscribes itself not on paper or stone but in the soul, leaving a mark that endures beyond the ticking of clocks. The beauty of this day is not something that must be manufactured. It is already present, like a hidden melody waiting to be heard, like a flame waiting to be uncovered. To say that this Wednesday will be beautiful is to confess faith in the unseen, to affirm that beneath what is visible lies a deeper truth, and to remind ourselves that grace is never absent, even when unrecognized. It is a challenge to lift our heads, to resist the dullness of despair, to believe that each sunrise is more than repetition, that it is renewal, a whisper of a larger hope, and if we were to take this day as a mirror, we might discover that its beauty is not only around us, but also within us. For the same hand that paints the skies with dawn has traced upon each soul an image, a reflection of eternal loveliness. We may forget this in the rush of our schedules, in the heaviness of our concerns, in the monotony of repeated tasks, but every so often, when the stillness comes, when a quiet thought rises unbidden, when a memory stirs or a hope awakens, we feel again that we are more than creatures bound to dust, that we are bearers of a light that no shadow can fully extinguish. To live this Wednesday beautifully is to live aware of this truth, to live as though each encounter, each word, each choice were woven into a tapestry that glimmers beyond our sight. We often measure a day by its utility, by what was accomplished, by what was gained or lost, and yet the deeper measure is how we received it. Whether we were awake to the subtle gifts that passed before our eyes, whether we noticed the hand of grace, even in what seemed trivial. It may be that some who hear these words feel weary, as though beauty is beyond reach, as though this Wednesday will bring only repetition of burdens, and yet that very weariness is the soil from which beauty often springs. For what is more beautiful than rest after labor, or light breaking into darkness, or a song rising from silence? If you find yourself heavy-hearted, remember that the day does not require you to be strong to reveal its loveliness. It comes freely, like a friend knocking at your door, offering refreshment though you feel unworthy to receive it. There is beauty in the very act of continuing, of rising again, of facing the hours with courage though you are uncertain of their course. And if tears should fall, do not think them wasted, for even tears catch the light, even sorrow can glisten with meaning when seen in the larger story. This Wednesday will be beautiful not because it is easy, but because it is true, and truth, when glimpsed even faintly, carries a radiance that no falsehood can imitate. The truth that time is a gift, that existence is not random, that each breath is a mercy. These are truths that lift a day above the realm of the commonplace. And though we may not grasp the full pattern, though we may see only fragments, even those fragments bear enough wonder to sustain us. Think of the way light filters through leaves, turning the ordinary street into a cathedral of green. Think of the way a single smile from a friend can change the tenor of an hour. Think of the way silence itself can hold us as tenderly as music. These are not accidents but reminders. Reminders that we are immersed in a reality larger than ourselves. To live as though this Wednesday is beautiful, is to live with a certain posture of the soul. One of expectancy, one of receptivity, one of gratitude. Expectancy not in the sense of demanding that all should go well, but in the sense of being ready to discover meaning even in what appears small. Receptivity not in the sense of passivity, but in the sense of being willing to let the world speak, rather than drowning it out with our noise. Gratitude not in the sense of ignoring hardship, but in the sense of recognizing that even amidst hardship, gifts are scattered like stars across a night sky. Such a posture does not come naturally, for we are prone to rush, to overlook, to complain, but it can be cultivated, and every day, including this Wednesday, is an opportunity to practice. The beauty of this day is also bound to the people who inhabit it with us. Too often we forget that those around us, whether familiar or strangers, carry their own stories, their own hopes and sorrows, and to look upon another with compassion is to uncover beauty of the highest kind. A simple kindness, a word of encouragement, a gesture of patience. These are not small things, they are glimpses of eternal goodness breaking into time. This Wednesday will be beautiful to the extent that we choose to see others not as obstacles or tools, but as fellow travelers, bearers of dignity, reflections of a deeper love. And let us not imagine that beauty is delicate, unable to withstand the roughness of life. On the contrary, beauty is resilient, woven into the very fabric of existence. It can be obscured but not destroyed. It can be ignored but not extinguished. Even in the most desolate landscapes, a flower will grow, a bird will sing, a star will burn, and these testify that beauty is not a luxury, but a fundamental truth of reality. To believe this is to walk through the day with courage, knowing that no shadow is final. So when we say that the 24th of September, this Wednesday, will be beautiful, we are not predicting favorable weather or promising ease of circumstance. We are affirming a deeper conviction that beauty is always present, always waiting, always breaking through. And our task is not to create it, but to perceive it, to welcome it, to let it shape our hearts. The day will bring its challenges, yes, but it will also bring its wonders, and often the two are intertwined. For without challenge we would not recognize resilience, without night we would not recognize dawn, without silence we would not recognize song. Every moment, no matter how small, carries the potential to awaken us. A conversation overheard, a bird's sudden flight, the warmth of sunlight on skin, the cool of evening air. All these are sacraments of the ordinary, revealing the extraordinary beneath. And to walk through the day with open eyes is to discover that we live not in a barren land, but in a world rich with signs. This Wednesday, then, will be beautiful because it is real, and reality itself, when seen rightly, is radiant. It will be beautiful because it carries us one step further on our journey. One more page in the story of our lives, one more chance to live awake rather than asleep. It will be beautiful because it is unrepeatable, unique, never to be lived again, and therefore infinitely precious. And it will be beautiful because in its unfolding we are invited not only to witness, but to participate, to shape it with our choices, to mark it with our presence, to respond to its gifts with our own offerings. And yet, if we are honest, many of us pass through days such as this without tasting their richness, without pausing to notice the wonder pressing itself against our senses. We walk hurriedly, distracted by concerns, eyes fixed on tasks, hearts burdened by anxieties, and the treasures of the day slip by unrecognized, like jewels left lying in the dust. To say that this Wednesday will be beautiful is therefore also a call, a summons to slow down, to recover the art of attention, to reclaim the childlike capacity for awe that adulthood so easily dulls. For children know instinctively that a puddle gleams like an ocean, that a butterfly is as marvelous as a comet, that the world is alive with surprise, and only when we become too wise in our own eyes do we lose that vision. But the vision can be regained, and this Wednesday offers itself as the perfect ground for such recovery. If we will only take the time to look, to listen, to breathe, to let the weight of beauty rest upon us without resistance. There is also beauty in remembering, in recognizing that this day is not isolated, but bound into a long thread of days past and days to come. Every Wednesday of our lives is linked, each one holding echoes of those before and seeds of those to follow. Perhaps you remember a Wednesday when you laughed until your sides ached, or one when grief fell heavily upon you, or one when something ordinary suddenly became unforgettable. All those moments have prepared you for this one, have given it texture and depth, and the beauty of today is richer, because it is not alone but part of a tapestry. And likewise, what you live today will ripple into the future, shaping Wednesdays yet unborn. To recognize this is to stand in awe of the mystery of time, to see that we are always standing at a threshold, carrying the past behind us and the future before us, and every present moment glows with significance when viewed in this light. This Wednesday will also be beautiful because it holds within it the possibility of transformation. None of us is fixed, none of us is finished, and every day offers the chance to grow, to learn, to become more truly ourselves. Perhaps we will discover patience we did not know we possessed, or forgiveness we thought impossible, or courage that surprises even us. Perhaps we will fail, and even in that failure learn humility, learn dependence, learn compassion. Beauty lies not only in success, but in the willingness to continue, to rise again after falling, to keep moving when the road is steep. There is beauty in imperfection, when it is carried with honesty, beauty in weakness, when it opens the door to kindness, beauty in limitation when it teaches us to lean upon others. This Wednesday will be beautiful not because it flatters us with ease, but because it invites us to grow into the shape for which we were made, and consider too the beauty of hope. For every day, even those that seem ordinary, carries within it the possibility of surprise. The phone call that changes everything, the unexpected kindness of a stranger, the sudden clarity of insight, the long-awaited answer. These can arrive unannounced, transforming the landscape of the heart. To live this Wednesday beautifully is to live with that openness, not demanding miracles but being ready to receive them should they come. Hope is itself a form of beauty, a light that shines even before dawn, a melody heard before the song begins, and it is hope that can carry us through the darker hours of the day. But let us not forget the quiet beauty of simply being alive. Too often we take for granted the marvel of existence itself, the fact that we can think, feel, choose, love, dream, and remember. To wake up on this Wednesday is already to be given more than we could ever deserve. The body itself is a wonder, the eyes that translate light into vision, the hands that can shape and hold, the mind that can imagine and reason, the heart that can burn with affection. These are miracles, not to be dismissed as mere biology, but to be honored as gifts. When we pause to recognize the astonishing complexity and harmony of life itself, we cannot help but see that every day, even the most ordinary, is radiant with beauty. Thus this Wednesday, the 24th of September, will be beautiful because it is alive, because we are alive within it, because the world continues to speak in whispers and shouts of wonder, because grace continues to pour itself out in ways small and large, because no matter what trials may come, beauty remains indestructible, woven into the very core of reality. And if we walk into it with eyes open and hearts awake, we will find that even the smallest details gleam like treasure, even the hardest hours are lined with meaning, and even the simplest acts are suffused with significance.